People are still joining. So yeah, I believe we can start right away. Okay, let's start. I believe everyone is in there already. So let's not waste any more time. Okay. I just wanted to welcome all of you for the new webinar of Hoft Academy, The Art of Strategy, Simplifying Complex Concepts for Everyone. Let me introduce myself first before we begin. I'm Ahmed Shami. I'm the moderator of this webinar, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to the Hoft Academy's commitment and unraveling of complexities of strategic planning and making it accessible to everybody. Today, we are going to embark on a journey together to demystify strategy, guided by our esteemed panelists and diverse experience. Let's dive into the art of making informed decisions and shape the future one step at a time. Before we begin, let me give you a quick introductory about Hoft Academy and what it's all about. This webinar is already brought to you by Hoft Academy, and we're thrilled to have you all of us joining on and embarking on our journey through excellence in finance and leadership training. At Hoft Academy, we pride ourselves on being a premier destination for high-quality training and coaching programs. Our mission is clear, is to nurture and develop the next generation of finance and strategy leaders. Whether you're aiming to sharpen your finance skills, master your strategic leadership, or excel in diving and driving innovation solutions, Hoft Academy is your trusted partner on this transformative journey. And let's dive into what makes us unique and why you're in the right place to elevate your career. At the heart of our success, the success of our clients are our core values. These values guide us in every program we create, every strategy we implement, and every partnership we foster. We are all about agility, integrity, innovation, commitment, and collaboration. Some of the services and courses that we provide are regarding corporate training, certifications, mentoring and coaching, and conferences and events. We have served in more than 30 countries. We have trained more than 6,000 participants, and we have helped more than 50 organizations in training and development. And we have over 30 trainers of qualified experts to help us on our transformative journey. Our headquarters in the UAE, and we also have offices in the KSA and UK. Now let's talk about the heart and soul of Hoft Academy, our programs. With a wide range of offering, we cater to various aspects of finance and strategy, ensuring that there is something for everyone, from next generation finance programs aimed at reshaping the future of finance to corporate finance programs that delve into the complexities and mergers, acquisitions, and more. Our strategy and performance management courses are designed to elevate your strategic thinking and execution capabilities. While our leadership programs are crafted to forge the leaders of tomorrow. At Hoft Academy, we believe not just in learning and transforming, but also to make sure that we are delivering the right information and knowledge. It's not just about the program themselves, it's about what you become after you've completed them. Let's prepare to unlock your full potential and redefine boundaries of what's possible. Behind every successful program at Hoft Academy are our world-class trainers. With a diverse background in finance, strategy, and leadership from across the globe, our trainers bring unparalleled experience and insights to the table. They are not just educators, they are industry leaders, innovators, and strategists committing to sharing their knowledge and experience to everyone. Our strategic partners consist of a lot of companies and organizations around the globe. Most of them are related to PwC Academy, AFP, Forefront, Tangible, KPI Mega Library, and more. These are some of our clients that we have served in the past and currently as well, including PwC, IKEA, Riyad Bank, Etisalat, and more. Now let's dive into our webinar's topic, the art of strategy, simplifying complex concepts for everyone. Stay with us until the end because we have special prizes for everyone and for all of the attendees today. Before we delve into the heart of today's topic, allow me to introduce our distinguished panelists. We have with us Dr. Rashad, a visionary in strategic thinking, Islam Saadani, a strategic par excellence, Sharif Hassan, an expert in operationalizing strategies, and Muhammad Al-Rubi, a digital strategy pioneer. With their experience and their knowledge, they will help us to find today the most important topic in every organization on how to build a proper strategy and how we can differentiate between a lot of topics that are in today's trend for finance and strategy among all the leaders. Kicking off our discussion, let's start our first question to all of our panelists. You know that strategy comes in many definitions and forms, but what does strategy really mean from your unique perspective? Dr. Rashad, let's start with you.
First of all, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with Hoft again. Related to your question, I really summarized it quickly in 4 different parts. First, we have to reach our vision and mission. So this is the basic. Next will be the focus. Here we are trying to focus the efforts of everybody. Sometimes you have 5,000, 10,000 people in the same company, and you need to focus them on the same objectives and other strategy related parts. Number 3 is motivation. When people see a target or an objective or a project or a milestone or a KPI, they tend to be motivated to go and do it. Otherwise, if it's just like left off for the late at the end of the day, year appraisal, most likely it will not be given as much attention as what I just mentioned. The last part that I would like to highlight is the alignment. So you have a lot of teams, you have a lot of people, and if they don't coordinate well, then it's going to be probably a lot of overlaps, miscoordination, misunderstanding, fight for power. So all the strategy that we put together is really to serve these 4 main items. Of course, there is other item, but these are the main 4. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Rashad, for your insights. Let's move to Islam. What do you think about it, and how do you find the strategy from your perspective?
Hey, thank you, Ahmed, for having me. And I'll continue and I'll build up on what Dr. Rashad said. And I would summarize things into what A.G. Lafley, the ex-P&G CEO, defined strategy, which is strategy is about answering 2 questions, which are where to play and how to win. Those are the 2 core components of having a proper strategy in place. So if we know well what are we offering to whom, how, and having a clear answer of how are we winning over the market, how are we dealing with the competition, how are we winning new clients and maintaining our current clients. So those are the 2 core, or that's the heart of strategy, is where to play and how to win. And the next thing is about execution. So taking all these conceptual selections and very big answers like where to play and how to win into execution and to cascading into making strategy work on the ground. I think that would be my brief answer about the definition of strategy.
Perfect. I like how you're going with it. Like with both questions, they're actually ringing in my mind at the moment. So it will keep with me for a while. So let's move to Mr. Sharif. What do you think about it, and how do you find strategy from your perspective?
You're on mute, Sharif.
If you can hear us.
Building Dr. Rashad's and Islam statement, it's basically we need to put all of that, as Islam mentioned, to know where to play and how to win. We need to compile this into a framework for setting the goals in order to derive actually the objectives, where to play, which markets, we are going to approach, which products, how to win, which products we are going to actually launch, and putting the right measures for this, and tracking these measures and this performance of this is basically the logical output, of this, and managing this execution, on regular basis, quarterly basis, and on regular basis.
Absolutely. Moving to Mohammed Al-Rubi, what do you think about it, and how do you define it from your perspective and from your point of view?
Thank you, Ahmed, and thank you for having me today. I can't agree more with what's said by Dr. Rashad, Islam, and Sharif, and I believe the same definition of strategy. It's all about where to play and how to win. Where to play, we have to select the right market, the right segments, the right geographical areas that we need to focus on. This is the starting of any strategy. I have to see what is the right segment, what is the right target customers. This is very, very important. Before seeing what is the right solutions or the right service or the right product, I have to see first who I'm gonna serve. Okay, this is number one. Number two, how to win. Strategy is all about how to differentiate yourself, right? How to create the right value proposition to your customers, how to position yourself in the mind of your customers. So how to win, we have to be very careful when we select the right strategic directions, how to create the right value proposition for our goods and services. And at the same time, also, we have to see how can we differentiate ourselves among our competitors. So that's all about where to play and how to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Building on top of all of what you have said, I think everybody shared their great experience and their great knowledge about how to define strategy. And this actually moves us to the second question and moving to another important point, understanding the readiness of your organization and your strategic organization is actually crucial before embarking on any strategic journey. Islam, if any organization wants to start their strategic journey, could you share insights on how to do it exactly and how to build it from your expertise and from your actual know-how on the ground?
I think for a company to work on building their strategy, they need first to assess, are they ready to build a strategy? And my answer would be that they need to know what is the right time and what is the right depth to conduct their strategy. So I would say that we have I would say that we have main three components on understanding are we ready for this or not. I think the first thing is about the company's experience in the market. In our consulting practice, many companies come to us that they have very, very shallow experience in the market. They have just started and they want to build a very comprehensive, deep strategy. And that's where we say, no, you need to go and try and do some experiments and then come back. So basically, the experience in the market is very important to build a comprehensive strategy. We can build a very shallow thing at the start, but no, we need a very, very strong knowledge of the market. And the second thing is that they have a management team. Many strategies fail because they have just a CEO and some execution members in the team, not really a management team that can take things forward. So basically, the strategy is all on the shoulders of the CEO. So he cannot really make everything work. So the second thing that the company should consider when they start making the strategy is the readiness of the management team. Are they ready with the knowledge, the skills, the experience to take this strategy into execution? Eventually, as Sharif was saying, that we need to have a framework for execution of this strategy. So if we don't have people to take this framework into execution, that would be a very, very big problem. And the third thing that we find very important for a company to kick off their strategy exercise is basically the time. Many times when we go to an assignment or a program that a company needs to formulate their strategy, we find that they have no time to build their strategy. They're so busy with their execution and they're so busy with their operations and firefighting, but they don't have the time to stop and let go some opportunities or let go some things that's happening in the background and work on building a solid foundation for their strategy. So if the company is not willing to give this time and space and priority to build their strategy, I don't think they are ready for it. So in a summary or in a sum up, I think the readiness of the company is very important, and it depends on three things in my experience. One, that they have good experience in the market, strong knowledge of the market. Two, they have a good or strong management team to take this strategy into execution. And third, they have the willingness to put time and effort into formulating this strategy.
Absolutely. Thank you, Islam, for your insights. And moving to Dr. Rashad, how do you assess the readiness of the organization, especially in the governmental ones? Because I know that you have a lot of experience in this particular area. And how do you or maybe try to differentiate between it from a typical organization and the governmental one as well? We would like to know.
Yeah, sure. I will limit my answer to the four category of the assessment or self-assessment exercise that you can do for free after this meeting. So the four category are the following: like how good are you in strategic planning? And underneath this one, there is five subcategories and questions. Next is performance management. How good are you in doing the reports and putting the KPIs and tracking them? In addition to the appraisals for the employee aligning HR. Number three is the reporting and monitoring. Here we're talking about the quarterly report for the strategic team, CEO and his reportees, in addition to the HR appraisal at the end of the year. Number four is the capability and learning and the culture, which really can ruin everything that you did on the top three. So usually the fourth one is the one who ruin everything. So in each one of these four, we have five subcategories. It's actually a total of 100 questions, yes or no, that Ahmed gonna be supplying you with this link to take self-assessment. At the end of the day, you're gonna get a report, assessment report, an email with all the sub 20 categories. And by doing this, you know exactly what you're supposed to work on. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, actually, the self-assessment is one of the best tools to be used in today's era to make sure that we are on the right track, not only for strategy, but for everything around our lives. So this actually makes us move to the third question that we have, and let's move to Sharif. I know that you're one of the global experts in OKR, actually. So this question will be specifically tailored for you. OKR and KPI often come up in discussions about measuring success, but confusion sometimes arises between the two when we actually discuss about it, and some people are actually not aware about the differences between OKR and KPI. Can you explain to the audience what is actually OKR?
Well, OKR is actually a framework, or it has been actually initiated by Andy Grove, who was the CEO of Intel, at a point of a time. And then it has been actually developed and enhanced, by John Doerr in Google, the major shareholder, in order to set up a framework for setting goals in general, a framework for setting goals. Yeah. And this framework is built actually on the OKR, which stands for objectives and key results. And these objectives are basically based for setting and tracking ambitious goals in a period of growth or a change of an organization. Yeah. So typically you would have set your goals and objectives based on the strategy formulation as soon as it is completed, where you have defined clearly where to play and how to win, the products, the markets. And around that, actually, you will set up your goal metrics. Like, for example, you will put an objective of boost the market presence by the year end as an objective, and you will derive out of it your key results, like as example, grow revenue by 40%, launch 3 new projects, add two new markets as a key results. And then while setting that framework, you will actually put the matrices, of the key performance, which is crucial and very important to measure. Actually, this matrix actually are there to evaluate the performance or the operational performance. Yeah. And you will measure actually the output of the key results that has been derived by the OKR. So in a nutshell, I would say an OKR is more of a lead indicator, a strategic lead indicator, and KPI is more of an operational lag indicator, which is measuring the output that derives out of the key results, analyzing it, assessing it, make the necessary adjustments in order for the next quarter actually to improve. So you would set up OKRs on quarterly level, yeah, whereby all the outputs, of the key results in format of KPIs measured operationally and adjusted for the next quarter in order to achieve.
We will still be net zero.
I'm sorry, sir. Hello?
No, you can't continue, Sharif. I guess someone just.
Hello?
Yeah, go continue, Sharif.
I'm sorry. So no, I thought there is a question. So basically the KPIs is complementing the OKRs, and technically speaking, they are working in alignment together. And you can have a key result derived from the OKR with a number of KPIs in a matter of fact. So one key result, like for example, growing the revenue by 40% or launching 2 new products, you can have for one key result a set of KPIs that will support these key results. So they are aligned together. They are actually working together, and it is supporting each other. So KPI is more operational. OKR is more strategic and lead indicator.
Perfect. Thank you for your explanation. Hamad, can you give me the opportunity to share my screen, please?
Yeah, you can share.
Thank you. Thank you, Sharif, for your detailed explanation. And actually, you have made it quite clear to differentiate between what is objective and key results and what is actually all about from the KPI perspective and how we can differentiate between the two. So let me move to the fourth question, and this one will be for Dr. Rashad. Dr. Rashad, balanced scorecards have been actually a go-to for many organizations. Do you think that balanced scorecards can actually work for all types of organizations? And is there a difference between applying it in the governmental sector and any other sector?
Yeah, first let's define a balanced scorecard for people who don't know the background. 1992 in Harvard University, 2 professors, Kaplan and Norton, they published a book, Balanced Scorecard, and they pushed this 1-page scorecard for every single manager, just like in our high school. So in our high school, we have a scorecard. We have, all the areas, all the topics, and then every single month or a quarter, you get the scorecard. They implemented exactly the same from school to managers inside the corporation. Since 1992 till now, probably number 1 used methodology to track the strategy is balanced scorecard. Of course, OKR came as an agile, as a more flexible. You can go and change it anytime. You can, this is not balanced scorecard. Balanced scorecard, I see it as a train with the 12 stations, clear, systematic. Meanwhile, OKR, I see it as, for example, somebody jumping on a mountain bicycle and go anywhere he wants, like Google, for example, right? Like iPhone. You have to have the culture. Otherwise, don't go there. I mean, you have to stick with balanced scorecard. So many people in Saudi Arabia, especially they jump on OKR and fail drastically because their bureaucracy, especially in government, did not allow this OKR to succeed. As simple as that. So to go back to number 2, the balanced scorecard is balanced. So we have to keep an eye on 4 things. The client, how happy he is, product and other things, financial, are we making money at the end of the year? Employee, are they also happy to produce the service? And then are they utilizing the process correctly? The right policies, procedures, and so forth. So this is the 4 the components of the balanced scorecard. And going back to your last part of the questions, any company can use balance scorecard? Plus minus, yes. If it's medium and big, definitely. If it's a small, maybe, doing it in an ad hoc situation, maybe it will serve the situation because it does require a lot of, work. Sometimes, the owner or the small company, they don't have the appetite to do this one, but definitely for medium and big corporation. Thank you for this question.
Yeah, so we can summarize it that we can know for sure that balance scorecards will be more fitting for the medium and large corporations and enterprises, but for the micro and the small companies or corporations, maybe it will need a little bit of work and a little bit of adjustment to make sure that it's working accordingly and fitted for the culture and for how to be executed from your perspective as a strategic consultant and from their perspective from determining their goals and assessing their goals. That's perfect. Okay, so let's move to Islam this time. My question for you, Islam, right now is all about strategy formulation and how to build a foundation for the strategy itself and how to formulate it in a proper manner. Because strategy formulation is the cornerstone in strategic planning. What advice would you give for organizations to ensure that they are selecting the right strategic direction and objective?
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed, for this question. Actually, one of the missing components that we find in strategy in general with companies that they jump directly into the objectives. They jump into having the measured objectives first, and we always challenge this that we need to have clear directions to move forward and then turn it into numbers. And let me give you here an important hint that mainly when we say to companies that you need to be focused, as Dr. Rashad was mentioning at the start, you need to have focus. Actually, we have a very, very interesting definition of focus. Focus is not about knowing what you do, and that's the common mistake. Focus is about having clarity on what you don't do. That's the better answer for it. So having clarity on what you do not do, and let me continue this, that despite the fact that you have the capability to do it. Because sometimes you go to companies and you ask them, what are you doing? They say, now we have 3 main directions and we are focused. And you ask them, what you are not doing? They have no answer. And sometimes if they have an answer, okay, we don't do 3 and 4 and 5. You ask them, do you have the capability? Do you really have the choice? They say no. So now you didn't really make a choice. So the most important part in focus is having clarity on all the possible directions that the company should do, and that's the first step, is having clear brainstorming and an open brainstorming on what are the possibilities, what are the moves that we can do in the market, what are the products that we can offer to clients, in which markets, in which mechanism. That's the first one. And we need to have clarity on maybe 10 options, 10 possible options, not 10 impossible options, 10 possible options. And then the next step is basically having clear case study for each direction. I'm going a bit practical. I'm not really talking about the tips and tricks. I really want to get the meat of the case. So having clarity on the set of possible directions, having clear case studies for each direction, to have clear study on what are the enabling factors that we have to do this direction or this direction. And after doing these cases, we have clarity and strong scoring system for these possible directions. So after we started 10 possible directions, we need to have very strong scoring mechanism to understand where is the priority, not to make a choice about, or not making the choice in a subjective way that I love this direction or I want this direction. No, we want to have a collaborative discussion, a collaborative scoring mechanism to turn these case studies into priorities. So we know well, where is the priority? Where are the urgent directions? Where are the important directions? Where are the easy directions to pursue? So we have a proper scoring mechanism to have prioritization. So we know well, what are we going to do this maybe this year, the upcoming year, and where is the buildup that we have? And finally, by the end of this exercise of choosing the right directions, we can move to the turning this into numbers and having clear objectives for each one and having clarity on how can we measure this and how can we take this forward in an objective matter. So I think that having a proper way to select, or actually to think of your directions, to study your directions, to select your directions, and turning them into proper objectives and measured targets to ensure that you're working on the right track. I think these are the most practical tips to pursue proper directions and ensure that we have successfully made our homework. Then the execution will be much easier.
Perfect. Perfect. Actually, brainstorming is the key in everything. When we brainstorm effectively, we make sure that we share our opinions and we make sure that everybody's heard in the room and all the opinions are heard and were listened to. Make sure that everything is going in the right direction. Let's move to the digital and digitization era. And I know that this is your favorite question, Muhammad. In today's digital age, how important is strategy digitization and why should organizations pay attention to this aspect?
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed. I believe digital transformation is important for all organizations, not only for strategy. But let me give you the background why we need to digitalize our strategy. As you see that in many organizations, after completing the strategy exercise, all the people and the government and management just put the outcomes on a shelf, just in a very nice PowerPoint format or very nice Excel format, but with no connections, right? Everyone has their own Excel sheets, everyone has their own PowerPoints, but when we execute our strategy, there is no connections, right? Each department has their own Excel files or PowerPoint files, but there is no connections. Also, there is no connections between the management objectives, departmental objectives, employees objectives. Even if you have initiatives and the projects, also they are in another silos, right? Also in an offline things or in manual stuff. Employees appraisal is in another silos. So there is no connections between employees objectives, departmental objectives, projects, employees appraisal. There is no connection. Everything is in offline files like Excel or PowerPoint. So this is, we can see a big need to automate all of this process, connect the dots, connecting all the objectives, starting from the organizational objectives until reaching the each employee's level through one platform, one source of truth. This is very important. Also, when we having a performance management, right? When we compare our actual results versus our strategic objective or versus our plan, how can we make that comparison and having an automated reports in a very good format and accessible format without digitalization, right? We cannot have everything in Excel and manual. It will be a very, very long process. Number three, from governance perspective, can you imagine that all the strategy projects is manual, right? Anyone can delete any lines, right? I can change my objectives. Who can govern that? Who can control that? Nothing, right? So when you digitalize the whole process, starting from the organizational objectives until employees level, connecting the project management and the tracking each project, also using the same platform, you can easily track the performance and having a very good dashboard for each project. When you have your employees appraisals, also it's linked to the company strategy. So you are connecting everything, company's objectives, employees objectives, projects in a one platform. You're going to have full governance. So no one can change objectives or KPIs without approvals. No one can, delete anything. No one can lose their objectives. So digitalization is very, very important. Also from people that who are working remotely, as you see that many organizations now having a hybrid model, some people working remotely, some people working from different geographical area. How can you manage all of that stuff without having a digital strategy framework? So I highly recommend to digitalize strategy for all of these reasons. And one of the key best practice in the market, which is a very good software right now, is called KP Cloud. I implemented myself and with KPI Mega Library with Dr. Rashad. It is very, very good software to connecting all the dots, having project management, performance management, employees objectives, strategy, everything in one platform, one source of truth, accessible to everyone inside your organization. So I highly recommend definitely to digitalize the strategy process.
Perfect. Thank you, Muhammad. Actually, mentioning the team and how we can digitalize everything and all the streamlined process, and to make sure that we have a second level of authentication to govern and control everything around us and what the team is actually going forward, and we can have an actual tracking of what has been done on the ground is actually a very important point. So thank you for sharing your knowledge and your aspects around this. But mentioning and speaking of teams, Now I'm going to move my question to Mr. Sharif and Mr. Islam. That strategic planning actually requiring a dedicated team to lead the charge. And for Sharif, from your OKR perspective, as you are the OKR expert, who are the core team and who can implement actually OKR correctly?
I believe implementing the OKR, or let's say implementing the strategy, I mean, irrespective, the mechanism or the methodology that you're using, as a principle, you need to include all the main stakeholders in the company. At least you have at each department or each departmental level or each division, you would have actually the department head or the second line, the deputy of the department head, involved in the initial framework setting and management, of executing the strategy through that framework. Let it be an OKR. We would have typically for each division nominated team, nominated leader, nominated person, that is actually presenting his division or presenting his department respectively. So technically speaking, when you implement the strategy, you would need actually to align the organization, horizontal and vertical, and make sure, that everybody is involved. And this is the only way really to keep everybody involved and not keeping the strategy only on a senior management level, but more on a really everybody is involved in all divisions in air department, and everybody is also qualified and educated and trained and coached, and also certified, to execute this job. Yeah. So this is really my opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Sharif, for your explanation. And moving to Islam, from your practical experience, any successful strategic planning project that you have been involved in, who are the core team from your perspective, and how do you define it?
Yeah, let me split this answer into two components, Ahmed. The first thing is about the involvement, and the second thing is about the ownership or the accountability. I would totally agree with Sharif that in the involvement part, we need to involve all the heads of the departments through maybe in workshops, maybe in one-on-one interviews, maybe in different aspects, and maybe the deputies and maybe the other lines as well, and maybe in surveys or group discussions. So the involvement part is very critical to happen across the organization to build momentum for the build-up of the strategy. The second part is the accountability, and that's what we call the strategy committee. The people that would sit and get all the data and get all the insights and work and have the ownership of working on the strategic planning with all the insight that they got from the other departments. And these people, I would say, there are 4 core pillars to be in the strategy committee. Commercial, definitely. Operations, representatives, finance, and HR. I would say these are the 4 core pillars to be on the table. So commercial might be split into marketing and sales and business development, maybe it's one person who is representing the whole team. The operations might be factory and retail and some others, or it might be one single point of operations, depends on the company. HR and finance, as you know, they are standalone departments. And this answer is a bit generic. So these are the core components. In some practices, in some companies, depending on the industry, you might have different people on the table. So in some companies, the supply chain is separated from the operations. So you might have the supply chain on their own, especially in very, very supply chain driven companies. In some others, you might add different members. But in a nutshell, the strategy committee pillars are 4 components, splitted or joint: commercial, operations, finance, and HR, give or take, depending on the case.
Perfect summarization, Islam. And actually, you shed the light on a very important point that we have to have the diversification of the 4 pillars of the strategy committee to ensure that everybody's opinion is heard, and actually from the HR perspective, from the finance perspective, from the operations perspective, and so on and so forth. Everybody's opinion in this regard is actually important to drive the strategic execution forward and to make sure that everything is going according to plan.
Yes.
So I want to thank all of you for your tremendous experience and knowledge sharing and brainstorming that we have at the moment is actually very, very fruitful and very insightful. So let's dive directly on today's topic on what we can actually provide and what we can offer to the attendees of this webinar and to everybody who is interested in developing their next level of strategic execution and strategy in general. We have created a very specific program just for strategy, which is the Chief Strategy Officer Program. And let me give you some insights about it. Our strategy experts, which are Dr. Rashad, Mr. Sharif, Mr. Islam, and Mr. Muhammad, are actually bringing to you an advanced strategy program that will revolutionize your career and your steps moving forward. And let me walk with you through it. This program is actually designed to empower the next generation of strategy leaders with the knowledge, skills, and insights needed to excel in this dynamic field. Our comprehensive strategy programs consist of 4 strategy certifications to cover every area of strategy, starting with Certified Chief Strategy Officer Program, which is the main pillar of the program. It's an 18-hour course that actually we will talk about in a minute, but let me give you a brief example about the others. We have 3 more electives associated with the program that you may or may not choose to take it, but they are complementary to the main course, starting with the Certified OKR Practitioner, accredited by OKR Institute, which is actually a 12-hour program. The second elective course is a Certified KPI Professional, accredited by KPI Mega Library, which is a 6-hour program. And lastly, Certified Performance Management Professional, accredited also by the KPI Mega Library, which is 6 hours duration. The program will actually start on Sunday, May 12, 2024. As we have explained, the duration for the main program is 18 hours and 24 hours for the electives overall. And let me walk with you through the details of each and every program. The Chief Strategy Officer Program is actually a very comprehensive one. We have designed and we have tailored every aspect for it to make sure that we are covering every topic in terms of strategic planning and how we can introduce you to strategy and what are the strategy factors, moving to understanding the dynamics, making strategic choices, strategy to execution, making strategy work, and moving finally to the strategy digitization. I would love to leave the floor for the actual trainers of the programs, which are Islam and Muhammad Al-Rubi, to discuss with us who are they in details, what they are going to provide for this program, and what are the key aspects that you will learn and you will get from this program, starting with Islam.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Well, let me give you a brief introduction about myself. I am Islam Saadani. I'm a strategy consultant. I'm the managing director of Forefront Consulting. Basically, we are a specialized strategy consulting firm. We work with companies to formulate and support them in executing their strategies on the ground. We've worked with more than 50 different clients in maybe more than 30 different industries in 4 countries. And the variety of the companies ranges in size from tens to hundreds to thousands of employees, and ranges in their type in terms of being a startup, a scale-up, an SME, a large corporate, and a multinational. We've worked with multiple clients regionally and globally. So that's basically what we do. And what we bring to the table and what we do as a core component before moving to Ruby is, in our experience, we work with the companies to build their strategies on the ground, and we work in a guidance model. Our model is in guidance format, where we guide the top management team. So our work is basically with the CEOs and top management companies, or top management in the companies, to guide them to build their strategies. And we have established a lot of strategy management offices in the companies that we work with to ensure successful execution. So we have seen the planning part, we have seen the execution part on the ground, and we have really on-ground hands in making strategies work on the ground. That's the experience we are bringing to this course. Do you want me to give a brief about the course, Ahmed? Well, I would leave the floor to Ruby first.
To leave the floor for Muhammad to introduce himself, and then we can re-explain every part as it is from your perspective and from his perspective as well. So,
Yeah, thank you, Ahmed, and thank you, Islam. I'm Mohammed Ruby. I'm a global strategy and finance leader with almost 20 years of experience in global multinational companies. I handle multiple international senior roles across Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, and Turkey. I'm a certified CIMA from UK, certified IFPAC from US, and also I'm certified OKR practitioner, and I'm certified balance scorecard. So I have many certificates in finance and strategy. And I'm passionate about digital transformation. So I'm gonna help you during the program to show you how to digitalize your strategy, how to digitalize your performance management, and how to execute your strategy using different techniques and different strategy digitalization tools. So looking forward to seeing all of you in the program, and I'll leave the floor to Islam to explain the program in more details.
Okay, thank you, Ruby, and it's a pleasure to have this collaboration, this in the program together. Our course is basically a very practical course. The CSO program is about building the next generation of strategists. So it's not about the written rules and just the textbook thing. We have some components from textbook to have clarity on the frameworks, and we have very strong tools to use in this course. However, we're going very practical in this course in building strategy. So we're starting with the intro to strategy, having clarity on the definitions that we need to align on in strategy, and reviewing all the different other definitions. So basically, as a strategy expert, you need to have clarity on the different definitions of things, not to be surprised by how other people would define strategy and how it works. So that's the first part. The second part is about understanding the dynamics, which is about analyzing the situation, understanding how to analyze the different dynamics that we are dealing with in the company, in the market, in the region. So having the tools, the right practical tools, and the mechanisms to use it, and having practices in the course. That's what we're going to do in this part. Then moving to making the right choices, which is basically choosing the where to play and the how to win components, as we said previously. It's about making the choices built on the previous analysis. So having the foundation of the strategy, that's the first thing. Then moving to understanding the dynamics, that's the second thing. And then moving to making the right choices built on our analysis, and eventually turning these selections into execution plans, into measured targets, in the strategy to execution component. And across these 4 modules, we have in strategy this self-correcting approach. So in every step, we might move backward and forward to arrange and adjust our strategy in our practical work. Because in this course, you'll be working on your strategy for your company, maybe your aspired company or a current company, to practice strategy and take notes on this build-up. So you come out of the program with a full strategy and something in hand to use. And finally, in module 5, and not actually finally in the strategy components, the module 5, where we're working about making strategy work, how to make this strategy work on the ground, and how to use the different dynamics and tools and develop skills for the strategist or the chief strategy officer in order to be able to perform his or her job. So here we will be talking about tips, tactics in the formulation, tactics in the execution of the strategy, skills that we need to adopt, political dynamics that we need to understand in the company to ensure the success of the role of the strategy expert or the head of strategy. As you know, the political dynamics are one of the most critical components that any guiding department like the strategy would need to know how to navigate across the company flow and know how to leverage their strengths and to leverage their enabling factors in the company. And the last module is about the digitization, and I will leave it to Ruby to explain.
Thank you, Islam. As we discussed that digitalization is very important for strategy execution and performance management. So we're gonna practice how to use what we completed with Islam in strategy formulation and execution into a digital part. So we're gonna learn how to build the strategic objectives, KPIs, how to link everything inside your organization in a one digital platform. So that will be part of the modules, and we're gonna practice either a balance scorecard or OKR using that digital platform. Now I leave the floor now to Ahmed. He will explain the other three elective modules.
Perfect. Thank you, Ruby. Actually, I'm very glad about how we have come forward to plan and to create such a comprehensive program with Tangible. This collaboration is actually going forward and making sure that we are proving to our clients and to our customers that well, we can actually offer a comprehensive program in the strategic world, and to make sure that you are on the right track for every aspect of your strategic career. I want to also thank Mr. Sharif for his collaboration, and he will be the one who will teach you the new elective program, which is the Certified OKR Practitioner, that is actually accredited by the OKR Institute in collaboration with Tangible and OKR Institute, of course. So I will leave the floor to Mr. Sharif to explain everything about the program and what it does and what is his actual background and experience and what we will get from the program overall.
Perfect. Basically, I am around now 25 years in the market, as a management consultant and a strategy consultant, in our strategy and operations for globally active. I have been putting a large focus now on strategy execution for the past years, because we believe, that this is a very critical element in success of implementing the strategy and making really the goals of the company and strategy of the company achieved. We believe, that the OKR as a methodology is a very good methodology to make this succeed, and to make the framework actually of setting these goals work and deliver the objectives of the strategy and the goals of the objectives. The module is basically, or the framework is based on the course. The certification program is based on 5 modules. The first module is focusing on the foundation of the OKR. It talks about the OKR principles, the type of OKRs, organizational and departmental. We'll discuss also in module 1 what makes an OKR a good OKR. It's very important also to define what is a good OKR and how to formulate it properly. Differences between the KPI and the OKR, very important also to understand the differences and the alignment between the two measures. One is more operationally driven, the KPI, the other is more strategically driven, lead indicator. How to combine them, how to align them, how to make them work together. The types of organizations, that we have to define, our OKRs and measures for. In module 2, we will talk about examples, and this is very important to have best practices, around the different industries and different functions, to understand exactly and get real examples from the market, how an OKR is formulated, how does it look like, so we can adapt from these examples, actually, and have a clear understanding what does an OKR look like. OKR as a personal goal, of course, it may contribute, to actually improve ourselves. By the end of the day, the organizations, are run by human beings, and we in personal level, we need also to adapt, or we believe, that it's important, or useful, let's say, an added value to adapt this as actually as a mechanism to improve ourselves, which respectively will improve us on personal level or on business level. Drafting our first OKR will be actually happening in the module 2, to start drafting OKR, how to draft a good OKR. In module 3, the OKR cycle, as Islam have mentioned earlier, accountability and involvement is very important from the management, and either now putting it on sections, like commercial, finance, HR, and operational, or putting it, reflecting it more detailed on departmental level or more divisions, on the company. But the involvement and the accountability is very important in the OKR cycle. And these cycles, are quarterly cycles where everybody is involved, everybody is accountable on his division in order to derive the measures for the performance that we can assess and adjust accordingly on regular basis. So typically there will be weekly check-ins, there will be quarterly reviews, where we are assessing both the OKRs and the outputs, in order to have the relevant adjustments, for the quarter after, in order to derive the result for the end of the year. The objective leadership cycle and the types of OKR participant, this is again, to emphasize, the entire organization need to be accountable, and everything we will be working in teams and alignment. And this OKR alignment is extremely important in order to derive the results. And this will be done in a very good systematic way, in a very structured way, where everything is really going to be monitored and tracked, on weekly basis, on monthly basis, on quarterly basis. The digitalization that Mohammed and Ruby have mentioned is a very good mechanism to track this and to have really the relevant reporting, and the relevant dashboard in order to track all of this. So digitalization will play a huge role in this. In module 4, drafting strong OKRs with the weekly check-ins by scoring, by giving also the results and the outputs, of the OKRs and respective KPIs and initiatives associated with the projects associated with the key results. It need to receive a score. It need to be assessed. It need to be put on a dashboard by green, yellow, red. It need to receive a percentage. It need to be assessed on weekly basis, on monthly basis, on quarterly basis, in terms of frequency and content. And in module 5, we will learn more about the implementation and how to close, a quarter in OKR, what type of reviews we have to do, and how we conduct a review. Implementation plan and execution, what we should be considering actually in putting this in implementation mode. All of these modules, by the way, we have structured also a very good assessment actually, and quizzes, that we are having. So for each of these modules, we will have at least 10 quizzes that we are going to perform, or in order to make sure, that the quizzes, are supporting the understanding of the modules, and also preparing, the participants for the certification and for the exams. So on one hand, the quizzes will summarize all these modules, and make sure that we have understood everything and absorbed all the modules. And on the other side, the quizzes will prepare us also for exams. So the objective really from the OKR practitioner is to come out of that program with a good execution knowledge, understanding for the methodology. We will hand over to the participants also frameworks that they can use immediately. So technically speaking, whenever the course is ended, people will have really a very good coaching, for how to implement a strategy, how to execute a strategy in different perspective, either on the customer level, on the financial level, or the organizational internal level, or even on technology. The 4 perspectives of strategy, exactly like Balanced Scorecard are doing it in various perspectives. On these 4 perspectives, plus they will have also the frameworks that will support them to implement it. In addition, also the certification that we really cement and complement all of this, being a certified practitioner or an OKR champion, having examples and really having the right understanding. What does an implementation means? How can we execute it? And if you involve really in this course, the main stakeholders in the company on departmental level, or like Islam mentioned, on section level, commercial, financial, HR, etc. This would be really the musketeers, that will, or the key stakeholders that will take leadership in the strategy execution together with the senior management.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Sharif, for your detailed explanation. Moving forward to the other two elective courses with Dr. Rashad. Let's start with the first one, which is the Certified Key Performance Indicator Professional, or the Certified KPI Professional by KPI Mega Library. Dr. Sharif, if you can, Dr. Rashad, can you give us an insight and a detailed explanation on what it is and what will be delivered to the audience of to the attendee, and a little bit of a brief about yourself and what you do in general?
Sure, but I will try to be very, very brief. I know that we are a little bit behind on this program. So, in a nutshell, our certification is #1 worldwide. Already, the courses and the certificate taken in 172 countries already. So this is much more than the KPI Institute and Balance Scorecard Institute, because we are covering really Asia and Middle East much stronger. This is one of the reasons. Related to the module for the KPIs, types, forms, how we select the KPIs, and here I also focus on all the tools. We don't really provide knowledge only, we provide the tools. So I do recommend right now to download a KPI app, which includes 36,000 KPIs. This is the longest list worldwide. Have been in the market for 7 years, based on the first book, which was a Amazon bestseller in 2010. It's called KPI Mega Library. So I'm just gonna put the name here. So you can search for it on your own smartphone. You can download it in English and in Arabic for the past 1 year. So in addition to producing much more tools, books, tools, systems like KP.cloud, this is what we specialize in. We tackle the targets, the scorecard, the balance scorecard, the monitor reporting, and then also the pitfalls of what could go wrong. And this is mainly based on my own experience with the Japanese, 8 years with the Honda of Canada manufacturing and the business planning departments. I learned a lot from them, to be honest. So I will put all, the problems and how the Japanese dealt with. Of course, I will cover much more than that, but this is one of the areas. Also, performance management professional. This is also a very in-demand course. The tackling the cultural side of the performance, also the analyze the performance results, employee connection to the strategy and how they can contribute with the appraisals and other items. So that's basically it. 6 hours both. 6 hours in the plan performance management, and a little bit more hours in the KPIs. Short and sweet. And then you will take the exam remotely. 1 hour, you need to score 34 questions, 70% what is required. So that's basically it. I have been around for a while. 16 years between Canada and the States, and then 20 years here in the region. So I hope that I will see you in this program. And thank you again. Going back to you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Dr. Rashad, for the brief and the detailed explanation. So in a summary and in a nutshell, let me give you a quick summarization about the program as a whole to summarize everything of what was mentioned. The program is actually delivered in collaboration between Hoft Academy and Forefront to deliver the main pillar of the program, which is the Chief Strategy Officer program. This program is the main one. Will be delivered by both Mr. Muhammad Al-Rubi and Mr. Islam. Then moving forward to 3 elective courses. The first one will be, let me show you real quick, the Certified OKR Practitioner, or the COPR, which is accredited by the OKR Institute and in collaboration with Tangible as well. This one will be delivered to you by Mr. Sharif Hassan. And the other 2 elective courses will be delivered to you by Dr. Rashad, which are the Certified Key Performance Indicator Professional, or the CKPIP, or Certified KPI Professional. And the second one will be the Certified Performance Management Professional, or the CPMP. So that's the whole program in a nutshell. And as we have promised, and you have stayed with us for longer than an hour by now, we have one winner from all of the attendees today. for the Chief Strategy Officer program, without the electives, of course, as we have mentioned. So we have extracted all the names of the attendees today, and we will run it on a wheel to select randomly from one lucky winner. Moving the screen to you, Muhammad, so that you can share at your end, and
Yeah.
let's see who will be the winner.
Yeah, let's see who will be the winner.
Let me give you the hope.
Yeah. But we still have gifts to all the attendees, and thank you very much for attending with us today. We have other gifts also to all attendees. But let's see first who would be the winner who's gonna get the Chief Strategy Officer program for free. Can you make me a host?
Yeah, I believe I've moved the host. Can you check now? I think you have it, right?
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay, perfect.
Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, clear, Mohammed.
Okay, so let's run
Long
the
list
wheel.
of names.
So the winner is Karim Salim.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Karim. You'll get the Chief Strategy Officer program for free. So contact us after the webinar and we'll share with you all the further details. But we still have other gifts to all the attendees.
Yeah.
So I'll leave the floor now to you, Ahmed, again.
Yeah, please give me the host if you don't mind, so that I can share at my end. Congratulations, Karim, by the way.
Congratulations, Kareem.
Okay, yeah, perfect. Now I have the host. Let me share my screen real quick. This is not the only gift that we have. I know that all of you are now frustrated because you didn't get the gift yet. So we have other gifts as well. Don't worry about it. Let's start with the second gift that we have, which is the mobile app subscription for KPI Mega Library tool and phone app. This application is actually consists of 36,000 KPIs, as Dr. Rashad mentioned earlier, across all industries. It will help you to set up your KPIs accordingly, and this subscription will be available for you for free. You can download it from the Play Store, and also you can reach out to us at any given time if you have any questions regarding the program and how to run it correctly. Feel free to reach us at any time, and we will assist you. And we will share the links right now in the chat on how to download it and how to navigate through it. And also the other gift that we have, as Dr. Rashad mentioned as well, the strategy and maturity model assessment, which is specifically made for organizations that are in need to make a detailed assessment for their strategy maturity and how they can move forward using this assessment model. It's actually a $39 value that will be provided for free for all of the attendees. We will send it by mail by the end of the meeting. I will send you a detailed email with all the information on how to obtain it and how to download it. At last but not least, also we have a subscription over the strategy digitalization tool and KPI tool, which is KP Cloud. It's actually specifically designed to be aligning performance of your teams and your corporate strategy together. It's a very easy to use, very practical. I've used it in the past. It's more than perfect, easy to use and straight to the point. Needs little to no experience on how to build it from scratch. It will actually assist you and help you tremendously in your KPI objectives and strategic objectives settings and making sure that you are on the right track. We will give you free 2-week subscriptions, and this will also be shared within the email that I will share by all of the attendees by the end of the meeting. So before moving to the question side, I want you to encourage all of us and all of your friends as well to follow us on the social media. You can follow us on Facebook at Hoft Global, on Instagram at Hoft_Global, at YouTube also at Hoft Global, and LinkedIn. Feel free to search for Hub of Finance Transformation or Hoft Global as well. You can also find all the social links for Haft Academy and Hub of Finance Transformation, as well as our partners, will be sent by the mail as well. And moving to the last part, which is the most important part, the questions. I see that we have a lot of questions in the chat already before we even announce that we have a question session. But let me, for the sake of time, let me share with you some of the questions for all of our experts today. Let's start with the first one. Let me scroll a little bit. Yeah, the first question is by Khalid Noor. He asks that often ambitious CEOs want big targets like 10x, for example. How do we set a vision that is a stretch but achievable?
Yes, I can go to answer
Any
this.
any of you, if you want to add.
Rashad, do you want to?
Yeah, Islam, go ahead. Yeah, Islam, go ahead.
Please, please.
Yeah, okay. But I would say it's not about setting the vision. It's about the how to make it work. So I would take the second part of the question first. You can set any vision that you want if you can build the roadmap to achieve it. So you can say 10x. If we can, in the process of building the strategy that we're working on to build the right roadmap and find ways and methods to achieve it, and have alignment with the CEO and the top management that this thing is achievable, maybe a bit stretchy, but achievable. So we have a proper roadmap to make it work. So this vision is possible to work on. So how to do it is by following the process that is basically applies to any type of organization, but the application might change a bit based on the industry dynamics or the company situation. So eventually it's about the how to make it work, not really about the vision itself. Everything is achievable if you have the right means and the right roadmap to make it work.
Perfect. Thank you, Islam. Moving to the second question, and this one will be targeted to Mr. Sharif. Is there any standard strategy management process that can be applied to all organizations?
We can say we have methodologies, common methodologies, like balance scorecard methodology, OKR methodology, OGSM methodology. We have various methodologies, in implementing, strategy or formulating even strategy. It can be used, and customized, but there is nothing as such as a standard process. It's methodologies that we need to apply and adapt to the organization based on the maturity and the size and the nature and the industry and everything. And like Dr. Rashad mentioned before, some of the organizations, you would find the OKR methodology matching. Some of the organizations more balanced scorecard, some of them OGSM. It is really up to the nature of the industry and the complexity of the industry, the organization also, that we can adapt the relevant methodology. But there is nothing standard as such. Everything is customizable. Everything is more flexible in that term.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Sharif. Moving to Dr. Rashad for this question from Annie. He says that it was mentioned it's good to know the market first before we formulate a strategy. Is it not important at the inception of a business? How do you see it from your perspective, and how do we tackle it?
Yeah, of course, yeah, you have to do the due diligence, you have to do the homework before you start working on the strategy. This is something that is essential, internal assessment, external assessment, environmental, social. What are the competition? What is the niche that you're going to be focusing on? And then after you start the business, you will keep doing this. It's not going to stop there. Keeping an eye on the new innovations, on new products, right? And now, in the past, it was very difficult really to create something new. Now it's very simple to localize, regionalize, Arabize. The success happened in the West. So I will give you an example. For example, Uber, then Kareem here in the West. Sorry, Uber in the West, and then Kareem is here. Or Noon versus Amazon, or
Yeah.
Souk.com versus Amazon. And So you have to just like localize, right? And so many people that are enjoying the success in their own tiny countries, copying exactly what's happened in the States or Europe. You know? So we became a global village. And then the problem is now you tend to compete with everybody. I mean, especially if you're online, like our service, for example, KPI Mega Library, we are serving everybody. But at the same time, we are competing with everybody. So it's a double whammy, like double-edged, right? Nothing for
Let's
free here. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Rashad, for your insights. And moving to Muhammad Al-Rubi, the last question, because we are a little bit short on time. From Himanshu, every organization or industry has their own strategy driven from top management to regional level. How do we propose and to implement those strategy or suggest strategy which is defined at the corporate level?
Yeah, that's a very good questions, and I believe we have to differentiate between the corporate level strategy and the local strategy. Yes, at broader level, yes, the branches or the regional offices should follow the global strategy or the corporate strategy. However, there is a kind of customization that should be implemented at local level because the type of customers, the type of market dynamics, type of competitions, the local laws, the regulations are different. So at broader level, yes, we have to follow the corporate strategy, but at local level, we have to have a sort of customization in order to have our own successful strategy.
Perfect. And I don't want to end the questions because we also have one important question. I will make it the last one. But if you have any more questions, feel free to send us at the email will be mentioned in the chat right now. But let's finish with this one because it's an important one by Ola to Dr. Rashad as well. What are the 3 to 5 components that need to be included for a successful strategy?
Okay, first, leadership commitment, time, effort, budget, resources. Okay, so this is number one. Number two is the culture. Okay, so they have to work on the culture, education, knowledge, training, on the courses like we are offering right now. Okay, so
Absolutely.
this is two. Number three is currently I would say automation because we are living in the world of data and automation. And honestly, it's really sad to go to a big corporation and now we are and using Excel. I mean, this is like in the old ages. And it becomes, by the way, so fast and cheaper. Like for example, KP, you can do if you have the data, you can do it in 2 days. How much
Yeah,
it costs? It used to cost us millions. Now it costs probably $1,000. You get everybody on board,
in
and
4 digits. Yes.
so there is no reason not to automate. So this is number three, and number four is continuity and sustainability, which is probably a big question mark because sometimes people do this one just like because they want to do it and they want to learn it, and then they drop the attention and it's not sustainable. If you can sustain it 1 or 2 or 3 years and becomes part of the culture, I mean, this is where the success is. So thank you for your question.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Rashad, Mr. Sharif, Mr. Islam, and Mr. Muhammad for all of your time and giving all of the impactful insights that we have today and sharing all and tackling all the questions that we have from the chat and from the attendees is actually very fruitful. It's like I've been accompanied by strategy experts in the past, but it has never been on this level before from my side as well. I have taken a lot of knowledge myself personally from this fruitful meeting. So I want to thank all of you and I want to thank the attendees for taking the time and listening to us. So thanks all of you for being here and for giving us all of these insights and see you in the future webinars as soon as possible. You can follow us on the LinkedIn and the Facebook pages. We will share for the next couple of webinars that we will have for the next weeks. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.